Hello, my loves. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome into this reading for the full moon in Taurus lunar eclipse. For those who are new, hello and welcome in. It is wonderful to have you here. If you want to learn more about these readings and how to get the most out of them, you can check out the tutorial video I created to catch you up on all of the amazing things that we do in these readings and the best practices I recommend for getting the most out of the information that's coming through and understanding where this information is coming from. Essentially your spiritual support team, but we get more into that in the introduction video. For those who are not new, hello and welcome back. It is lovely to have you here. I appreciate you. I'm honored to show up and serve you in this way as we together navigate the astrological cycles and understand more about our own astrology and to use the spiritual tools of the cards to connect with our support team on the regular, to honor these cycles and to get the most out of them so that we can be the best versions of ourselves. So let's talk first about full moon energy. Full moon energy is the energy of the fullness of a cycle. It's a celebratory energy. So with full moons, we tend to focus on the things that we are celebrating under the theme of the sign that the moon is full in. Now, a full moon is always in the sign that's opposite wherever the sun is right now. So right now, the sun is in the sign of Scorpio, and the opposite of Scorpio in the astrological story is Taurus. Before we get more into the Taurus energies, this is not just a full moon. This is a full moon lunar eclipse. So the energy of this cycle is a little bit different than our typical full moon energies. Typically, a full moon energy vibration cycle information will last us 28 days until the next full moon that we have. However, eclipses are more powerful, more punctuated energies that have longer cycles. They can be from 6 months to a year. So this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus cycle is going to last us a year. And so it's going to take us from when the full moon happens on November 8th all the way to when the next full moon eclipse happens October 28th next year, 2023. So this is a year-long celebration that we are being invited into when it comes to the Taurus themes. Now, the Taurus energy is the second sign of our zodiac story. It's what's called a fixed sign. Fixed signs represent the fullness of a season. So in the Northern Hemisphere, Taurus happens during the season of spring. It represents the fullness of the spring energy and archetype. It has the element of the earth. So earth elements in our zodiac story represents the material world. It represents the physical realm. And so we have with the Taurus energy this beautiful vibration and focus on values, material possessions, the environment, and the earth. So these are the themes that the Taurus archetype and energy brings up and brings into the zodiac story and into our lives to explore on a deeper way. It's a contrasting energy to the Scorpio vibration, which is the season that we're in. The energies that are opposite each other are always going to be in the same, what's called modality. So Scorpio is also a fixed sign, but it represents the fullness of the season of fall. So we have the fullness of spring opposite the fullness of fall, creating this dichotomy and complementary yet opposing energies. Scorpio is the energy of water, whereas Taurus is the energy of earth. So Scorpio is more concerned about the emotional realm, is more concerned about diving deep into the fullness of our emotions, where Taurus energy is really fixed and wants to stay on the material plane in the earth and is concerned with the practical, physical realm. So as we are going to move into this cycle with this lunar eclipse, we are going to be celebrating with the full moon energy this Taurus vibration, so values, when it comes to our own values of who we are, what we value in a practical way in our lives, what we find supportive, and what helps to ground us in this experience of life. We're going to be celebrating that with the Angel Therapy deck by Doreen Virtue. So even if you don't believe in angels, your spiritual support team, whoever they may be, is going to help bring guidance to you through the Angel Therapy deck. You are going to be watching only one reading for this lunar phase. There's a lot going on. If you haven't watched the new moon solar eclipse reading for the new moon in Scorpio, I recommend watching that because that's a whole nother cycle that we're in right now that has very, very powerful energies playing out in our lives, and it's going to help us navigate the things that are coming up in our sphere. But this reading, you are only going to watch for where the moon shows up in your chart. So you're going to look for this symbol right here. And this symbol right here represents the moon. And you're going to look for in your chart what astrological sign this symbol was in. If you don't know how to find that information, I did create a tutorial video to help guide you to that information and to that understanding. It is available and the link that's popping up right now, and you can learn all about the information of your chart, or at least how to understand and read the chart from this tutorial video. So you'll watch the video and the advice for your moon sign for this reading. So if you want to support me, there are many ways to do that. You can comment on this, like this, share this, dialogue with me about this, help me learn what is working for you and resonating for you and what isn't. And you can also share it with people who you think might benefit from this guidance and information and this fun game that we play with the astrological cycles, our own astrology, and the spiritual support tools of the cards. You can also give me a financial donation at paypal.me/devotedvulnerable. And you can sign up for any of my services at devotedandvulnerable.com/services. I do offer chart readings there. I do meditations. You can contact me for custom guided meditation. I offer tapping services, and I have a chakra meditation service as well. Those are ways that you can support me if you feel called. It is not necessary, but some people want to know how they can reach out and support me, and those are the ways. Also, let me just invite you in to watch Molly McCord's really amazing breakdown of what is going on astrologically the moment this eclipse happens in 16 degrees 1 minute of Taurus at 6:02 in the morning Eastern time on November 8th. If you want to learn more about where the planets are and what that means for you on a personal level, you can go watch her video. I'll link it here so that you can really learn more about the astrology of this particular moment. I watched the video. I thought it was super helpful and supportive, and so I'm going to guide you there if you want to study more and learn more about astrology and learn more about how this phase is going to impact you. So let's get started and find out what we are going to be celebrating when it comes to our values and our finances for this lunar eclipse cycle that is going to take us all the way into October of next year. This video is for you if the moon was in Libra when you were born. If you're already familiar with this energy, you can scroll ahead to the card reading. So the moon in the astrological story represents our emotions, and the sign that it was in when we were born represents how our emotions express. So your emotions express themselves through the Libra archetype, which is the energy of the scales. It's the only machine of the zodiac story, and it's this energy of balancing the scales. So the modality of Libra is cardinal, which means it's an initiatory energy. The cardinal energies always start a season. So Libra in the Northern Hemisphere starts the season of fall. And the element of Libra is air. It represents the mental world. So it is an initiatory energy when it comes to the mental realm. Do your emotions express themselves through this initiatory mental vibration, which includes energies relating to relationships, particularly one-on-one relationships, the energy of balance, the energy of beauty, the energy of balance, the energy of beauty, the energy of harmony, and the energy of diplomacy? These are things that your emotions really care strongly about, and they're the way that your emotions express themselves. You express yourself through how you emotionally relate. You express yourself through emotionally aiming for diplomacy and peace and harmony between people. You emotionally are so very moved by the beauty of the world, and you're always seeking for harmony in your life. Let's see what your reading is. So if you haven't already called in your spiritual support team, taken a few deep breaths, and opened your heart to receive the guidance that's most aligned for you at this time, I invite you to do that. Pause the video if you need more time to set a sacred space for yourself. And here is your card. Yes, I love this card. This is my favorite card in the deck, and it's very, very much the theme of this eclipse that we were talking about in the intro. Integrity. Align your actions so that they match your values and your inner knowingness of what is right for you. Yeah, so with this lunar eclipse in Taurus, we're talking about values because Taurus energy is all about the values, all about being grounded in the physical world and what we value most. This integrity card is saying align yourself with what you value, what your inner knowing of what is right for you is. It's time for you to step into this integrity. Now, the moon in Taurus has also got the same card. So this is very, very important for both of you to step into this, because I was telling the moon in Tauruses, and I'll tell you too, we need this. We absolutely need you to step up into this integral offering and alignment at this time. For the solar eclipse in Scorpio, I was talking about this larger cycle that we're in, one of the largest cycles that we're in, the age of Aquarius, which is this more than 2,000 year cycle. That's part of a 26,000 year or so cycle of the zodiac story. And the theme of Aquarius is humanitarian focused, is unity focused. So under the context of this larger, huge cycle that we're in, we are all working towards being a collaborative species, working towards what's best for humanity and acting in integrity of what we value and what we know is right for ourselves and for the collective is so important at this time. And you're going to lead the way with this, my beautiful moon in Libras. And of course you are, because you're all about harmony. You're all about beauty. You're all about balance and diplomacy and justice and fairness. And how can you celebrate that in the outer world if you yourself in your inner world and in your actions and in your emotions in particular are not in alignment with yourself, right? It has to be coming from within. You have to align your actions to what you know is right for you. And that's all actions. It says align your actions. So every action that you take is so very important right now. Asking yourself before you do anything, any little thing, even the way you brush your teeth, the time you brush your teeth. It seems so simple and probably insignificant, but these are the kinds of things, the smallest things that you can think of. Is this integrity in acting in integrity with what I know to be true? And bigger questions like, is this job that I show up to for 40 hours a week in integrity with what I know to be true, with what I value? Is it supporting what I value? Ooh, the card fell down when I said that, so that was very important. I know that that's hard for a lot of people to look at. And please know that I have so much compassion for you, and this is not coming from a judgmental place. This is coming from your support team, letting you know that your emotions do not feel comfortable when you are out of alignment and out of integrity with what you know to be true, and you are being guided back to your own value system with this eclipse, and to look at your actions. So I also tell you that the planet Mars, which represents our actions in the astrological story, like the moon represents our emotions, Mars represents our actions. So Mars is retrograde, and it's retrograde until January of next year, and it's in what's called shadow until March of next year. So the end of this year might not quite be the time to change in action yet. It might be January, March of next year. That's more of an aligned time for you to actually take the shift in action. But reviewing right now your actions and which ones are integrity and which ones aren't in integrity, and then planning in January/March to move on that understanding and that awareness is going to be very aligned for you. Okay. I didn't do a reading for the Mars retrograde, but I did want to bring this up in this reading because it seems very relevant. And like I said, that card fell down, and that's always a sign to me to kind of dive deeper and shift gears with the direction that I was going. So that's the shift, letting you know that Mars is retrograde. Actions are under review right now. So allow yourself time to review. The end of the month, the last month of the year, review your actions. Ask yourself what's out of integrity, and then just ask your support team to help guide you into what is more aligned for your integral vibration and space. Okay? Let me know if you have questions. Let me know how this is resonating. Sending you so much love, sending you so much appreciation. This card is the hardest hitting card in this deck. Every time it comes up for me, I'm like, I know I'm in for a big shift and a big awareness and a big aha, but I give thanks for it because ultimately moving in integrity in this life is one of the most admirable and important goals that we can have. As always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors that universal light within you. Namaste.